Welcome, 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 welcome to the rum.
Hey, welcome to the
Hey,
Rum.
way. What was that? The Big Bopper? Hello, baby.
Hello,
This is the Big Bopper
baby.
speaking. What? Did you drink? What? Okay,
What?
sorry, we're done with that. Oh, baby, that's what I like. Said me drinking most rums. There's a few that, I'm like,
Yeah,
what the
it's
bleep is
hardly that you
this?
don't say that. Yes.
Yeah. But hey, everybody, thank you for joining in and welcome to what is this, our third
Rum.
episode? Fourth episode
Fourth
to the rum.
episode.
Fourth episode. I swear I do math. I'm Bryan,
I'm Constantine.
and we are
We
the
are the
rum. I
Rum.
still don't get how we are the rum, but
Well,
I'm
it's to
into
the
it.
Rum. So it's like
Yes.
to us. Cheers.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Cheers. What are you
Cheers,
cheersing there?
Constantine. I have got Black Adder 11-year Panamanian rum, 63.2%. What about you?
Brilliant. I've got Holmes Key, Belize 2018. Fantastic
Mm,
job. Thank you,
I love
Mr.
it.
Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes. But really, we've got such a great show. Thanks for everybody who has listened to our previous episodes. We are up to 500 listens and counting. 500. We're halfway to 1,000. Constantine, where
Yes.
can people find us to tune in?
People can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Music, and wherever you get your podcasts. We're there. And if we're not there, let us know and we'll be there.
I don't know. I had to
Follow,
go
like,
in
and subscribe.
essentially. Yes, please, and thank you. We're there.
We're there.
So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna do a little bit of things, Constantine, a little bit of
Yeah.
this, a little bit of that. We're gonna do updates. Constantine, what's new in
Yes.
your world? What do we got?
What is new in Fiji down here? It is getting hot. As you know, we're on the opposite side of the earth. We're all upside down here in the southern hemisphere. Cane cutting season is just about over, which means the air is clear because they burn a lot of the cane here. So we've been living in a cloud of smoke for the last several months. But yeah, cane cutting season's over and the summer's setting in. And you can probably, we're on video, you guys can't see, but the sweat is dripping down my face as I sit here in the Fijian summer heat. But I've got some lovely rum, so everything is great. And yeah. How
You've
about you? It's
got
getting cold in LA.
Rumsies?
Does it get cold in LA? I don't know a lot about LA.
Relatively. The high was 76 Fahrenheit today, which is such a rough life here in almost
Chilly.
November when it's such a tough life being here in Southern California,
Wow.
where it's 77 degrees. I don't know what it is in Celsius. I'm sure it's in the 20s
Yeah.
ish.
Got your heat seater on
Yeah.
in the car.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, but coming up soon though, I'll be going from the Fijian summer heat to the perpetual summer heat of Singapore to Whiskey Live coming up in November. So if you're in Asia, if you're going to Whiskey Live, look me up. I'll be there. It'd be great to get together and have some rumsies in person with some of you guys.
Ramses. Yeah, man, I'm envious. I know we were talking about before the episode recorded that I was thinking about doing it, but I'm actually going to be in Florida on a train doing a rum tasting and cocktails for people. So I'm going to be on the rum choo choo. Yeah. So I'm actually being sponsored to come out by US Sugar, and I'm going to be in the middle of the state of Florida. And yeah, just going to be doing some cool rum things with some cool other influencers. And
But rum on a train. I love trains and I love rum. A rum train sounds like the greatest
rum
thing in the
train.
world.
Yeah. I'm still going to call it a rum choo choo just because you can't say choo choo without laughing.
Oh, what else
Oh,
do you
that's
have going
good.
on? So you've got your Rum Curious Club is blowing
Oh
up.
yeah. So for November, we're actually sponsored by Diplomatico, and it's going to tie nicely into a segment that we're going to talk through a little bit later. I know some people roll their eyes when you hear Diplomatico, but it's a great cocktail rum, great for the price point, and we're going to be designing our own daiquiris at 4 locations. So Tonga Hut, which is in North Hollywood, on the 5th of November. Remember. A week later on the 12th, we're actually going to be at Oldfield's Liquor Room in Culver City. 2 days after that, Twisted Tiki, which is a tiki speakeasy, say that 10 times fast, in Santa Ana, which is North Orange County. And then 2 weeks after that, we're going to be doing and closing out the month on the 28th at Bamboo Club in Long Beach. So if you're in the area, you have 4 shots to come design your own daiquiris, sponsored by Diplomatico, and Liquid Alchemist just signed on as well. So that's November. And then in December, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here. The big reveal will be on Instagram in about a week. But the Rum Curious Club is also expanding up to Forbidden Island in Alameda, which is the East Bay. We're going to kick things off in December, where we're actually going to be sponsored by Privateer. So
Very cool.
hurrah and bully
East
for
Coast,
rum.
West Coast.
Yes,
And if you can
West
say
Coast
Tiki
is the best
Speakeasy
coast.
10 times fast, you get a free daiquiri. Is that what I heard?
Oh, you get 6 free daiquiris.
Tiki
And then you
Speakeasy,
have to say,
Tiki
and then and then if you finish all those 6 in under 30 minutes, then you do Tiki Speakeasy another
If
10
you're still
times.
upright.
Then they give you a bottle of the Diplomatico Ambassador, the $300 bottle. And then you have to chug that, and then you have to. No, I'm kidding.
walk the plank in a straight line.
Oh my God, yeah. And then spin around 3 times while blowing a whistle, and then spin your head around. Oh my goodness. No, that would be if me like 10 years ago, what would be great is if we had these rum clubs, if we just got people as schmammered as possible. And yes, I intentionally said schmammered. Another one I like, schmammered. When we have to turn into robots. It's great. The other one, Constantine, that I really like is Buzzy Bears. That's pretty good. I always kind of say, I'm a little Buzzy Bears right now.
Buzzy Bears.
Yeah. I mean, just try and say it without smiling. If you can say Buzzy Bears without your soul lighting up like a Christmas tree, then you have no soul, and you should go to an exorcist to exorcise the demons. All right. All right. Enough of that now. We are back to serious business.
Enough of that.
We're
looking at hundreds of listeners today.
Yes.
We started out with like, I don't know, single digits, and now we're half a thousand, which is nuts. So you half a thousand listening, tell your friends and tell us what you want to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't have guests today, not because no one wanted to be with us. We have guests lined up, but we wanted to take a step back and survey the state of the rum world. The state of the rum address, if you will.
Exactly. And keep sending in messages and comments. Appreciate those. Thanks for all the support and the love, guys. We would love to hear, kind of different formatting things. There won't always be rum producers. We're thinking about pulling in rum bartenders, tiki bartenders from around the globe, everyday ordinary Joes and Joettes. I think Joettes is appropriate, right?
Let's just say drunks. We'll get some drunks in here. Talk about
Damn drunks. Exactly. And it'll be, what we should have, Constantine, and everybody listening, please let us know. We ought to do a version of drunk history. I am all for this.
Yes.
Where it's you, me, and a guest, and maybe 100%. We do it like a couple times a year or something like that. Yeah. And you just have to drink the highest proof rum that you have that isn't a 150. I mean, you could drink a 151 if you want. But anyways, we would you'd pick a country maybe, and then you'd have to tell the history of rum in that country after you've had a big gulp. And I'm not talking about like a big gulp. It's like the God, why can't I think about the 7-Eleven big gulp? That's like 32. Okay. Sorry, I cut you off. Go.
No, so 151, I understand that's not available anymore in the States. Is that what I heard? The Bacardi 151, that they don't have it anymore. I don't know. But we've got
Bacardi
it on the shelves at the liquor shops in Fiji, and no one buys it but me. So I have a lot. If you want some, come see me.
And but then just good luck trying to get it sent home, because your plane will crash, your ship will sink. The rum gods don't allow intercontinental travel. No, intercontinental. Intercontinental travel. Right. I swear I know. Anyways, shifting gears though, today we're going to talk about 2 topics really: molasses versus cane juice, and then we're going to spend some time on to dose or to not to dose. That is the question.
And that's a great question. But we'll save the controversy for later. So we'll start with an easy one. And this is a happy one. I mean, it's really not even a controversy at all, because who doesn't love, among our listeners, a solid cane juice rum? But the problem is, me and Bryan were talking about this just before we hit record here. If you hung out with rum geeks like us, you would come away, if you were not initiated in the rum world, thinking, agricole must be about 50% of all rum produced, because I see a lot of it. But what, we're talking 5%, Bryan? Is that right?
Yeah, just about. It's pretty minuscule in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, but it's amazing, and we're seeing
Hmm.
it come more and more and more. So you've been working, I know, with some agricole producers,
Hmm.
and I think you did some trips with them, right?
Yes. So the biggest one was when I went to Puerto Rico, and
Yeah.
Ron Pepon is a brand. Well, it's San Juan Artisan Distillers. They have two
Hmm.
brands. They have Tres Clavos, which is a very Catholic term, as I'm blessing you over the internet, Constantine. And
Thank
then
you.
I don't know if I can bless you. Am I going to go to hell because I blessed you? Anyways, the rum gods don't
Oh,
don't
I will.
don't see. And then the the other one is Ron Pepon, which cane juice single estate distillery out of Puerto Rico, and I am desperately trying to get them into the US because when done correctly, so sophisticated, so refined. They're both 90 proof expressions. They have an añejo, which is an aged, and then they have a blanco, which I think no, it is aged 1 year and then they charcoal filter, but it's phenomenal stuff. And nobody knows it's there because when you think about Puerto Rico, you think, Don Q or Bacardi or, even Ron del Barralito. So they're very few and far between. And it's curious, Constantine, you've had your fair share of experiences with cane juice producers in the US and abroad. So I know Hawaii, I know Louisiana, you're pretty close with a few folks over in that lovely state.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll see more and more coming out of Louisiana. That's something that we want to do, I think, in the show is get some of those producers on. People don't realize Louisiana is a big cane growing region. Louisiana, Florida, we don't see many. I don't know of any producers in Florida. If you're out there in Florida making cane juice rum, let us know, or if you know who is.
It's
But,
funny you say that. So
Hawaii is
when
blowing
I'm
up, of
when I'm in
course.
Florida, Constantine, these guys are actually down in Florida. They're called Lake Placid Rum. This is the cocktail that I'm
Mm.
making when I'm on the Rum Choo Choo. Sugar Sand Distillery out of Lake Placid, Florida. And yes, there's a Lake Placid in Florida.
I remember the Olympics there a while back.
I always thought that it was Lake Placid, New York. Oops. I don't know anything about anything, but there are a few distillers down there, and I've had a few of their different expressions. I was pleasantly surprised by all of it because yeah, it's all cane juice,
Yeah.
and cane juice is just different. And if you're outside of the rum scene or the rum geeks or the rum obsessed like we are, most people, if you were to pick up a bottle of a Naissance Blanc or something, the first time I ever did, I opened it, I did the twist off, and I got my nose right up to the opening, and I went, "Whoa, what is
Yeah.
that?" And it was at that point that I had to look up, why does this smell like grass? And then
Yep.
you realize, oh yeah, sugar cane is
It
part of the
is.
grass family.
I
But
remember
then it
my
gets,
first time with that Nason Bio. It was with shout out to
mhm,
Frederick of the Rum Cartel in Singapore, sitting there and
yeah,
whiskey. Oh my goodness, blew me away, and just
oh,
love it has continued ever since.
And even yeah, outside of Martinique, one of my favorites recently is Perle. They have an organic and it's 71.3% ABV, I think. It's straight up distillate proof and it's so smooth. You
Yeah,
would never, ever, ever know how strong it was until after you had your tea punch and got up and went, oh, I'm going to sit down. Can I get some water, please? And maybe some French fries or something to coat my stomach.
yeah,
And when done well, they're just so refined. Here recently in the US through Ed Hamilton, Rum Boulogne has finally made its way to shores. So it's the Reserve Special and then just their 100 proof Blanc, which I'm excited to try. I've heard a lot of good things, but it's very underrepresented. And we haven't even started, Constantine, talking about the wonderful world of cachaça.
absolutely. You look at that number, that 96 or 94% molasses, 6% cane juice figure that gets thrown around a lot, cannot take into account cachaça because, as I
Mm-hmm.
understand it, they produce more cane juice based rum than the entire rest of the world combined, and probably
Yep.
many times more than that. An order of magnitude more, I'm sure.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is cachaça is the first distilled spirit in the New World. So happening before rum was being produced in Barbados and in Martinique, and we'll let Barbados and Martinique fight out who created rum first. But what's beyond contestation, though, is that cachaça was being produced in the 1500s by multiple accounts in Brazil. So there were Dutch stills that were brought over. Portuguese started distilling the stuff. Initially, they called it aguardiente. And then subsequently, as time passed, then it was known as cachaça, which is just a very fun word to say. So say that 10 times fast. It's kind of like in Lion King, where it's Mufasa. Ooh. We say cachaça. Ooh. That's good. You know, if you want,
I'm holding Bryan up over a cliff right now.
Yeah. And yeah, the cliff is what is it like down and below? It's just like a giant pond of rum, whatever like your favorite rum is. Just Anyways, but I do think, though, back onto the cane juice piece, I do think that a lot of people are starting to take notice, and there's a big push, whether it's lack of availability of molasses, whether it's a focus on sustainability. It's probably a combination of the two. And as time goes on, I think cane juice based rums are going to rise significantly. And Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to kind of observe how that goes.
It's inevitable. It's going to happen. We're already seeing some things coming out of different places, and rumors and whisperings of things that are happening. So a lot to look forward to in the coming year in cane juice rum. My first experience at a distillery was with Kohana Distillers. I got to know Robert out there. So hello, Robert, if you're listening. Let me spend a day at the distillery. This was several years ago when I was just dipping my toe into this. Fascinating. And when you have it just straight off the still and you watch the whole process, it's just unbelievable and great tourist experience. If you're in Hawaii, go out and see these distilleries that are making this cane juice rum and watch how they do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Kohana. Haven't been. Shout out Kuleana. I'm hoping to do a Hawaii island hopping tour to go visit those two distilleries.
As we stand over the cliff, as I hold Bryan in the air with the Lion King theme playing, we see the coyotes or the hyenas down there gnashing their teeth, and they're gnashing their teeth about sweetening or not sweetening rum.
Oh my God.
We are going to step in it on this one. So I'm just going to let you talk to the show. And then if anyone sends me nasty comments, I'll say that was all him.
Well, I'm happy to kick us off. So because of the Rum Champion, anytime I post something with Barcelo, El Dorado, kind of take your pick, Diplomatico, I always get a few people that throw out some shade and say, well, they put sugar in that, right? And it's dog shit. And you're like, whoa, here's my take. And I did a post of this, but I think that it's very bold to try to dunk on styles of rum from particular countries, where that's their process, and that has been for quite some time, longer than all of us have been alive. And in certain countries, the DR, I believe it's 37% ABV. Brazil, cachaça can be 38%. Nicaragua, Mexico, rum can be 35%. And not to mention that there's a stylistic choice of certain rums that do have additives. So this concept that, the rum should be authentic and it should speak for itself. Well, I feel, Constantine, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel that that's a newer perspective, and it has gained a lot of wonderful traction. And I'm caveating all of this to say that my personal preference is to drink cask strength rums neat by themselves without adulteration. However, after having, 900 rums, God, that Blackadder is getting to me. 900 rums from 66 countries from around the world. I really do think that there is a seat at the table for many different kinds of rums. Sometimes I don't want the cask strength that's 62, 64, 68%. Sometimes, if I want to have a little aperitif, I'll have some Diplomatico Mantuano or, Brugal 1888 out of the Dominican Republic. So in closing, because taste is so subjective, it stands out to me that people want to criticize other people's tastes, actual taste bud tastes, because it's very subjective. And I kind of view it as you're calling somebody's child or significant other ugly. It's just you just don't do that, right? So anyways, that's my 2 cents. Constantine, I'm off the soapbox. Like what you like, and if you're drinking rum, that's great. If you drink Kraken first, then go up to Diplomatico, then go to Florida Cana, and then go to like St. Lucia, then Barbados, et cetera, et cetera.
And that was just exactly what I was going to say is remember your own rum journey. For me, it was Zacapa 23 at one point was the most amazing thing I'd ever had. And then I found Kirk and Sweeney. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then slowly got in. But as I went on my journey, I did get to a point where I was at a bar somewhere and a buddy of mine was like, oh, they have Zacapa 23 year. He said 23 year. And that's the greatest thing. And I was like, well, it's not 23 years. And and I just dumped all over this guy. And that was where I was in my journey. I was in my ultimate max snob phase. And just recently, another friend of mine mentioned Zacapa 23, and I had a completely different approach to it because I understand we all go on these journeys, and at some point, if that's what gets you into rum, then
then great,
by all means have it. But the real takeaway for me is drink whatever you like, but know what you're drinking, and there is an element of transparency, and I think we've
100%.
come a long way in that as well, where we've seen some brands that were a bit secretive that are now a bit more open about their process and about what they're putting in the rum. So if you don't know, the information's out there. There's some sites that have done hydrometer testing that show, okay, well, this rum has 13 grams per liter of sugar added. So the information's out there. On the rum journey, we all take different paths, and just drink what you like and know what you're drinking.
Yeah. And that's, I will challenge any rum brands listening to this, be transparent. Even if you wanted to start and say, a little asterisk at the bottom of the label of additives included or something like that. I personally think that it's kind of crazy that we don't have nutritional labels on rum. I get that it's not sexy, but also like I would love to know how many calories, because I'm trying to watch my boyish figure from time to time. How many calories is in an ounce and a half? You look great, sweetheart. But also, how many grams of sugar are you putting into a 750 ml, or excuse me, outside of the United States, a 700 ml bottle? And are you putting other things in there? Some brands that asked to remain anonymous have said, yeah, well, we're putting in some kind of, port wine and things like that. And just be transparent. And then so we can, as educated consumers, say, you know what? I don't think I want the glycerin or whatever it is. And then there's also a distinction too, where additives themselves seem to be a broad term. I know that a lot of companies add caramel coloring just to keep things consistent. One of my favorite distilleries, period. Yeah, at Worthy Park. I absolutely love Worthy Park. I worship the ground that they walk on. I love Zan Kong. Zan, if you're listening, blowing you kisses. But they add caramel coloring because for their single estate reserve to have it on the shelves, and one rum is darker, the other one's lighter. A lot of consumers could get very confused. So anyways, but yeah, could not have said it more. Be transparent, like what you like, and rum is a journey. So, if you have questions for Constantine or myself on, hey, I really like Zacapa. My first rum ever was Diplomatico Reserva Exclusiva, and I was like, oh my God, this is the chef's kiss. Mwah. And now, if I use that, I put it in a cocktail, and then I use like a bitter component to kind of balance out some of that sweetness. But that's my personal preference. People in Venezuela love that, or Carupano, or whatever. So anyways, I think we've sufficiently soapboxed that one.
Absolutely. And I think that's it. Some of those make a great old fashioned, for example. You don't have to put much sugar in there. Great as it is.
100%.
Friends to all, enemies to none.
Amen, brother. I blessed you again, or I blessed us.
Oh, gone to hell. Sure now.
No, that's 500 years in purgatory, and then we might have a get out of hell free card, maybe. Well, I know, Constantine, we have just a couple of minutes left, so
keep your eyes out for a To the Rum podcast logo. Logo's coming out.
Whoop, whoop.
See it on our social media. It's going to be fantastic, exciting. That brings up the possibility of merch. We can get some merch out there with this on it. And it's going to be awesome. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Questions, topics, send it in. We've already got our next guest lined up. My daughter, I don't know if you heard that in the background. My daughter, me. Yeah, someday, sweetheart, for sure. 100%.
Oh man. So the next episode is going to be rum from unlikely places. So you often think about Caribbean as the Mecca, which rum actually, any sugarcane distilled spirit actually started way back in the Middle East or in India. We don't know. And the basis for all tiki drinks is actually Batavia Arak Punch from Indonesia, throwing all sorts of information in there. But for the unlikely places, we've got Australia, South Africa, the folks from MOBA, and Privateer Rum. So we're going to hear about rum production from the unlikely, aka non-Caribbean places. With that, though, this is where we'll leave you, Constantine. It's Halloween for you, so happy Halloween.
Yep.
Woo! Get some
Getting dressed up.
candy.
We're going to be the Adams family tonight at our party. My daughter's going to be
Ba-da-da-dum,
Wednesday Adams with little thing on her
ba-da-da-dum,
shoulder.
ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum. I love it. Awesome. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Appreciate you, and look to hear from us next month, and wait for that logo.
And we'll see you next time.
We'll see you
Cheers.
next time.